You remember me saying in what I thought was the final part of the Glynde video, that I thought that black bit on the right-hand side where the arrow was pointing was another tunnel, and I since found out that it was. It was the original tunnel. It was narrow gauge, and I'm wondering if that speech bubble thing in the station that said about the having to use osses to pull up the trucks because the locomotive was too large was referring to the fact that the trucks were delivered by a standard gauge loco. And obviously, standard gauge was a lot bigger than narrow gauge. And whether that's the reason why they built that new tunnel, which we're looking at on the left there. Both tunnels, I've seen photos of them inside, and they were both lined with bricks, so they were very well built tunnels. Um, it doesn't explain why this exterior is different and looks new. I don't think the tunnel was built on cut and cover, but you never know. Anyway, I screenshot this from Google, and you can see here clearly the two tunnel tops, as I call them. The one on the left, as we look at it, the narrow gauge one, look how small it is compared to the one on the right, which was the standard gauge. So I didn't really take any notice of this when I was walking around the area, but looking at it, yes, you can definitely see that there's two separate things there. So let's get down to the nitty-gritty. Thanks to a chap who has his own YouTube channel called Paul Whitewick, a lot of people know him, he put me on to the National Library of Scotland for their side-by-side viewers. Thanks to them, some very useful information. Here is an extract from an Ordnance Survey map of 1899, and it shows quite clearly all three of the lines at Glynde. The one disappearing top left is the one to Brigden's Pit. The one over to the right disappearing. Now, that was the original Telfridge, but if you go further up that map, it will show it now as a tramway. But the important one is the one going behind what it's labelled there as the Trevor Arms, and there you will see that is the original narrow gauge tunnel that goes into the Balcombe pit. Just one line, you'll notice. Now fast forward to the Ordnance Survey map from 1937 to 1961. You'll notice the Brigden's pit's gone and the line to the clay pit's gone. All that's left is this line into the Balcombe pit, and you'll see one is shown, but it's slightly further over to the right than on the previous map, and it takes a slightly different course inside the pit. And then you'll see where I got the arrow, that's the remnants of the old narrow gauge line, I'm assuming. So I think we can deduce that it was around 1937, 1940-ish, perhaps, when the standard gauge tunnel was built and opened. That would be my guess. But anyway, I find that rather interesting to look at. And here's the final view, courtesy of Google Earth. You can see where the tunnels, where the arrow pointing, come underneath the road into the pit. But I think it fair to assume that anything on the pit side of the bridge has long been filled in, because look at the mature trees in there. They've had plenty of time to grow. And as you could see from my video, looking across the fence, it all looked flat the other side. So there we have it. And that brings the epilogue to a close. There definitely were two tunnels. And looking at the maps and everything, I think hopefully I've explained that properly. And on that note, I'll bid you farewell until next time.